Good afternoon. Your record speaks for itself, 26 points out of the last 30, but what does the performance like yesterday do to bolster the belief that's already in amongst you and your squad?
Yeah, I think the style in which we played the game yesterday, and just that mental and physical energy that we put into the game after such a long trip, back from Turkey, it's unbelievable really in terms of the level that the players played at. So yeah, the confidence is high, and importantly for us, the performance level was at a good level as well. So outstanding result, but we enjoy it after the game. But now we're very much focused on our next game.
You've explained why things have begun to click sort of this season, but in the last couple of seasons you've gone on runs from January onwards. Is that kind of a hallmark of what you do, or is that just coincidence?
I think it's how I work. Normally takes a little bit of time to get going. I always will bring in a certain method of work, and that takes a bit of time to get used to. And I think hopefully we see over the longer I'm with a group and a team, the better they'll become. And unfortunately this year there was a big change in the summer, so that same time had to be given to the players that had come in, and because of the players that were injured or lost. So. But unfortunately in modern football, the affordability to get that time and patience isn't so much there now. But we just had to stay strong. We knew we were in a tough moment, but we found the solution, and the players have been performing at a high level.
The goals like Philippe Coutinho's scores are catching the eye, but how worthy a candidate is he for perhaps the best player in the country, winning the awards come the end of the season?
We're certainly going to be up there. There's no doubt about that. He's played very well. I think that period where the team suffered at the beginning of the season, and it was our lack of penetration really at the top of the field was, and he's the player that thrives on that. As I said, he's normally the player that makes the last pass to those guys running in to score the goals, but didn't quite have that in the opening months, and obviously he suffered because he had to stay longer on the ball and wasn't as effective. But now the dynamics in the team are very good. The structure, the pressing, and obviously the movement off the ball, and that allows him and his technical quality to really shine. And now, as you see, he's started to add goals to his game and scoring some fantastic goals. But very importantly, contributing for the team, and for him, still improvements to make, being so young.
Burnley have a promising striker in Danny Ings. Can I just ask you how you rate him, and also whether you think there might be a clamour for him coming into the season, bearing his kind of contract situation in mind?
Well, I rate Burnley, the team, and the manager in particular. Sean Dyche has done an incredible job at Burnley. He's a Premier League manager who's very talented. I'm always impressed when I watch Burnley. I watch their work rate. They've gone away from home in big games and performed well and got good results. So collectively as a team, that's their strength, and obviously Sean has got them very well organised. They've got great motivation when they play, great commitment to try to stay in the league, and they're fighting. So they're a team that we're wary of.
James touched on it, that you've got that phenomenal record in the second half of the season after January the 1st. Is that something you work towards, Brendan?
Yeah, I try to tend to periodise the season. Obviously you've got that preparation phase at the beginning, and you then move into the competition phase, which is two sections really between that first game of the season through until Christmas. So you've got objectives within that, and then I think after Christmas then you're moving towards the business end, and it's preparing the players in every facet of the game. And obviously we pay specific attention to the psychological needs of players, and as I said, and then be able to really focus on our tactics in the game and the confidence. And normally because of how we work, the performance level then becomes better because players become accustomed to the way of working. They're stable in the structure, they're stable in the pressing, and obviously then the qualities then get the chance to shine. And then I suppose it's just reinforcing the confidence that we have in how we work and focusing on the performance really, as opposed to the winning. We know we want to win, that's why we're here, but really ensuring that the reasons as to why we come in are reinforced even more, and the players seem to respond.
Considering the way they've played at times, have Burnley been a bit unlucky this season? Their position now compared to their performances at times?
Well, I think they're giving absolutely everything to the cause. You know, they've got a great promotion, and Sean will be up there as one of the candidates, I'm sure, for the Manager of the Year, irrespective of what happens. But they're a team that's always in it. They don't concede too many goals. Very organised. Set pieces are a threat. Got some good players. As I said, they want to press the game. They want to get organised. When they're unorganised after attack, they get organised very quickly in the shape. So they're a good side, and they'll be pushing all the way right through to the end. And obviously, it's a big game for them coming to Anfield on the back of losing the home game at the weekend. So, but for us, we're very much focused on ourselves as well, and hopefully creating problems for Burnley.
Is this turning into one of the closest battles for the top four that we've seen in the Premier League?
I think so. It's all tight. It's all, as you look at the numbers and the teams, obviously Chelsea a little bit out in front, and but for us, we're focusing on arriving in. That's always been the objective. You know, we're 7 points behind Manchester City now, and you know, with the games to come, you know, we're hopeful that we can just finish as high as we possibly can. We want to keep chasing right to the very end, and our season won't end till that very last whistle goes. So as I said, our focus is to perform, and as long as we're in the top four, that's what's important for us.
Yeah, there's been some big performances from Joe Allen lately, none more so perhaps against City. Is he something of an unsung hero, do you think?
Yeah, I think he is. He's a very underrated player. It's only when you work with Joe, and I, you know, he's one of the first players I wanted to bring to Liverpool. He's not a player that comes off the bench who's going to score a winner or a goal or anything like that. But his performance yesterday was incredible, really. I go back to when he first came in. He played against Manchester City, and a lot of the players probably weren't aware of his quality. And on that day, he was outstanding. But yesterday, I thought his dominance in the game, you know, against a group of midfield players at Manchester City that are very talented, but he's got so much courage to get on the ball, and Joe's the type of player that he needs games. He needs to be playing regular in order for his qualities to be seen. And yesterday I thought he broke up the game very well. He's very aggressive in his pressing, and technically he's at a real high level, and he allows other players to receive the ball. You know, for Coutinho or Lallana to receive the ball, they need someone with the bravery to go and get it, and he does that. And he, as I said, he's an outstanding player, and he'll show that over his years here.
Do you think there's much more to come from him? His very best is still ahead of him.
Yeah, I just think with Joe, it's been difficult because he's been injured a bit this year, and so that injuries have sort of curtailed his availability. And then once he plays, he's maybe was only coming in for a game or so. But once you see he has a run of games, he's a top class player. You know, we paid £15 million for him, and I believe, and always will believe, that was, you know, in terms of the market now, it was great value for us, because he is a player that's could be undervalued, but certainly not by coaching staff, and certainly me as a manager, because he's a player that I rate immensely highly.
Brendan, a lot was made, rightly so, of the fact that he's had to come back from Turkey and then play Manchester City so soon, but this game is only 3 days on from that. So do you still feel you're within this phase of having to really manage the players really carefully?
Yeah, this week was about setting the objectives over the course of the 3 games that we had, and focusing on the performance. You know, we spoke about what those were, what we wanted out of the 2 league games and the cup game. And then after that, come next Sunday evening, we'll more or less be preparing for the last 10 games of the season, one game each week. And for us, of course, we would want other games in there, but how the season is mapped out, that's going to give us a great opportunity, because we really have been unable to do that. You know, we've done a lot of work in the analysis room in here, you know, with players, a lot of reflections and reviews, because we can't push them too physically outside. But come those last 10 games, we'll be able to do more on the grass as well. So, and that should really help us.
And is there a danger in a game like this, which on paper you'll be expected to win, that there can be a feeling that Burnley have been to places like Chelsea and got a result, and teams like Leicester and Hull and Sunderland have got results at Anfield? It's so strong, this Premier League, that you could never really take anything for granted. No,
absolutely. And I think that's you've actually gave the message. It's perfect. We know Burnley are a good side. We had a very close game where we won over the Christmas period. And as you say, their results away from home have shown that they're a good team. So, but this is a unique league. There's no other league in European football that's like this here, where every single game is super competitive and every team has got quality. For us, we're playing at Anfield and we're getting back to the sort of form that we've had, for about 18 months, which is going into every game with confidence, respecting the opponent, but believing that we can win. And Burnley will be no different. We respect them. I have a huge respect for Sean. I know him well. But we want to get the 3 points, and as will they. But for us, we're at home and we want to do everything we can to win.
Brendan, how's Steve now?
He's coming along very well. He's building up strength in his hamstring, and he's been outside. So he's working very hard. So hopefully, in the very near future, he'll be back and available.
Obviously, this week will be too soon, won't it?
We'll see.
Any of the team news at all?
No, we just young Jordan Abe, who'll probably be out for a few weeks. He just twisted his knee laterally on the outside of his knee in Turkey. He had to come off sort of towards the end, so he's had a scan on that. It's not too serious, but it's probably just going to mean him out for a few weeks. So we'll probably have him back towards the end of March.
Yeah, just that game on Boxing Day. I mean, they ran you very, very close and ended up with nothing. Was that almost a microcosm of Burnley's season, that they have played well but not got perhaps the points that their performances have merited?
It's the level. It's the level. You're trying to combine the two. You're trying to combine performing well and winning. And but I think they're maximising what they've got. As I said, their budget is nowhere near a lot of teams at this level. They're a club that's trying to be stable without overcommitting financially. And as I said, and that was even in the Championship. So as I said, the job that Sean has done there has been a remarkable job, and they go into every game very, very competitive. And I think that's how it's going to be for them. I think that's why they'll have maybe an opportunity and a great chance to stay in the division, because they're always going to be in it.